Hi, this is Lindsay from POV, and today I wanted to go over the inpO2 third-party plugin software from Dynagram. There is not a lot of resources out there, so I figured I would do this on the fly. This is my second attempt because, as with most software, sometimes things just crash, and that's what happened on my first one. So I am going to go ahead. I'm doing a perfect bound book and I need to do an assembly. So you can't use the wizard because I have a 4-page work and turn that needs to be added in a very specific area. So that's where the assembly project comes in. So I can work off of an existing template that I have, but for this purpose I'm going to go ahead and create a new one. And I'm going to go to layout. I'm going to pick a 25 by 19 work and turn. You can see that I have none for the backside and my gripper is 0.375. And I'm going to hit create, close out of these pop-up tools, which are awesome. That just does it every once in a while. So now I've got my blank page. So as you can see, as I pop this guy out and bring up my pages, page 2 is disabled, so which is good. We want to then go into a page group. I do have an existing one created. This is a 8.5 by 11 perfect bound. It's going to go portrait and my gutters are there. So I'm going to go ahead and click. I'm going to right click and go to properties. I want this centered. They will take a trim off in bindery, but of course you must talk to your bindery company and or whoever's doing or company or department, always clarify with them. That way there, print once, print right. Okay, so now I've got a standardized template. I do use apply mark sets, so I have these all set up. So I do suggest having all of these set up for your page size. You've got consistent ones, and that way there you can easily put your text tags on, your reg marks, and your color bars based on whatever machine or press you're using. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn off my 5th color and 6th color, not needed. As you can see, that went away. I've got it centered out on the sheet. So this goal is a 4-page work and turn. So I'm going to go to pagination. I am going to invert and invert. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And so you might have to adjust this based on the balance of it. So as of right now, I am not 100% sure. So I'm just going to double check this because I actually don't want to do this twice. Oops. So we're going to do file. And if ever you have a saved template, you have to lay out from a template. So that will actually open up the existing template. You can't just open it because it is a template. My computer is a little slower. So I have this one, which is a 1925. It's a 4-pager. And then also a there's one 2-page 2-up. So I don't need this one because this is a 4 and a 2, but my numbers are down, so that helps me figure that out. Excellent. And just for fun, I can show you, I also have a layout from template, an 8-page perfect bound. So it's very important that you have your pages templates already set before you start your assembly. And that's how you make sure everything is the same. You can see here it's 0, 0. I got quarter inch, portrait. So everything matches, so you don't have to do it twice. So my color bars are all in there. I'm using the same one, so I'm just going to close, because I can't use that one unfortunately, but I can now use this one. So this is my 4-pager. I'm going to go ahead, and this is important. You have to export it out. You can still save it. It's going to save as a layout, but you can't import a layout into an assembly job. So I am exporting this out as a template. So as my computer is ready for a vacation, it's going to take a little time. And I'm just going to use this guy here, except I am going to change this. So 4-page, 8.5 by 11, work and turn. And so now I have a template, and since I've already done the work, I'm just going to go ahead and save it as a template. And this one here, again, I'm just going to do 4-page, work and turn, 8.5 by 11. So if I ever have one that I want to use a layout from, I can. Okay, so now we're ready to do the assembly. So create assembly project, or Alt Control A. So in the background, it's actually making the assembly, so you have to load the pages. And that's why we did that first step. So again, I've got this, I got a 2-page, so it's basically, let's say it's a 3 and 4, and it would be multiples up, so you'd actually have 4 out of that one once they cut it out. This is a 4-page plus a 2 up of a 2-pager. So I can't use that because I just need a 4-page. So I've got this guy and this guy. So I just hit Control or Shift and I bring them both in. And as you can see in your little preview over here, you can see that if you go into your information, it breaks it down for you. For our purposes, for our bindery company, when they are doing perfect bound, in order to keep the integrity of the actual book, they do not want the 4-pager or 2-pager back like right in the front. So I normally do a strong 8 there, and then I drop the 4 in after. So with a saddle stitch book, it's a lot easier because then you can just take and drag and you can see right there that little icon, the arrow. That means it's saddle stitching. We don't want a saddle stitch, we want a perfect bound. So I'm just going to take it, and you see that line with the dotted line? They have to go underneath each other so they don't nest together. And I am just going to keep doing this, and you can click here until you get to the page count that you want. Hopefully this goes pretty fast. And as you can see in the background, it's actually building this entire assembly. Now with building assembly, you will not be able to alter the layout. You can't change things very easily. So that's why it's important if you're doing a layout, go from layout. But assembly, you don't have the same flexibility that you would typically have. And as you can see here, as soon as I drop that over there, that's now a saddle stitch. So we have to fix that. Okie dokie. And I'm at 68 pages. I do not want to be at 68 pages because I'm on my other screen. Like I said, I'm actually working on a job. So I figured I'd just record this as I do it, because like I said, there is not a lot out there. 60, I want to get to 84. One more. Okay, so, oh, I did one too many. So, good teaching tool, delete. And now I'm at 84. And you can see here, up in here, you can see all these things. Perfect. Now, you don't have to do anything else other than hit close. I'm going to go to my inpO2, and before I do anything else, because we know how awesome software can be, we are going to save this. I typically save this in a generic location just so in the future, if I have any other 84 perfect bound inside pages, I can easily use that in position for later, and I don't have to remember what job it is. Oh gosh, that is a real bummer. Okay, thankfully it looked like it was a false alarm. I was about to pause. I paused this for a moment. All right, so I'm going to take this 78. I'm going to name this 84. And hopefully and you can see here, this is your assembly. So I'm going to hit save. And it looks like it did save. So I'm going to go to my job on my other screen. So hang out just a hot second. And 25381. My folder, to print. I always have a to print folder just because I like things organized. I'm going to just pop this up on my screen over here and this one here. So as you can see, I have my layouts 1925, and then I have a perfect bound folder, and you can see there is that assembly. So I'm going to minimize that. I'm going to come back over into my job folder now that I have that done, and I'm going to copy that path. And so back over to here, I'm going to do a save as. So if you hung out this long, This will take you through the very end where I bring the file in and export it out. Now you'll have a different RIP system. I use a Zytron RIP, and it's pretty straightforward. I've used a bunch of different ones, so they pretty much all do the same thing. Just depends on how many other things that you have. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and save this as the job number 25381. And this is going to be an 84 page inside, inside perfect bound. I do PB just so I know it's a perfect bound, so I don't try to use it for later side. And inside because this is the inside of the book, because I do have a completely different imposition. Okay, so now I've saved this assembly again. I'm going to go ahead over to here. This is for color work. I'm going to delete those stupid things again, and I'm going to come back over to my document manager. Bring this back on the screen. I'm going to open. Another reason I paste everything, it's always there. So inside from here, so I had a book that the customer sent to me. I did all the prooflighting, and then I extracted out the pages, so I just had the inside. You can change any of the source or location. I just hit OK. It's going to bring everything in. And here we go. So I'm going to open up this panel again. So here is my standard 8, and then here is my 4 work and turn. So when they do the perfect bound, they've got that 8 right there, and then that will really make sure that that 4 stays in place. We don't want that thing moving, especially if you've got a 2. You might even, if you've got a 2 in there, they might have you place it again. As a different page. It just depends. Again, bindery, I ask them to be kind to Prepress too. So, we try to make press happy and bindery happy, but, they have to think about what we have on our side too. All right, so everything looks good to me. I see bleeds, so I will go through each page and everything like that, but this looks good. And so I've saved it, and then you would output it and to whatever device that you have. So for me, I'm not pulling Epson, and since this is coated cover, I'm running on offset paper, so I am going to do offset. So my line screen is 135. We found that it prints better and opens up more with offset paper to run it at 135 instead of a 175. So from here you can change whatever. I'm not going to need to. I'll just output that. So I hope this was helpful. I might actually come and revisit this video because I don't do these very often. But the more we have out there for Prepress, the easier it is to help everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day, and thank you.